Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be about Pink Fantasy. It's a group that I've been a fan of for a while, and sadly I'm constantly worried about them disbanding and so on. Usually in these videos I go over the group history and then I go over the reasons why I'm worried, but in this case the group's history is a reason why I am worried because of all the member changes and so on. There's a lot that goes on even though the group hasn't even been around for 3 years. So let's just start from the beginning of Pink Fantasy's career. Pink Fantasy's journey starts all the way back in 2018 when My Doll Entertainment started getting the lineup of the group ready. They made a pre-debut subunit called Sugar Powder consisting of Harin, Arang, and Hisan. They didn't have their own songs. They would promote themselves with videos and performances of covers of songs like Orange Caramel's Catalina. Pink Fantasy had their debut on October 24th, 2018 with the digital single Iriwa. As you can probably notice, their concept includes one of the members, daewang, being in a rabbit mask, making them the hidden member of Pink Fantasy. As soon as the girls had made their debut, there were member changes in the group. The official debut lineup of Pink Fantasy was Arang, Yechan, Sea, Harin, Aini, Yubin, Hisun, and daewang. However, in the music video, Yubin was not there, and instead another girl, Rai, was in the video, but she left after filming the video. Then, Pink Fantasy formed a subunit called Pink Fantasy Shy with Sea, Yubin, and Harin. The subunit debuted on March 26, 2019 with the single 12 O'Clock. They also had a Japanese debut in the first part of 2019 with a Japanese version of Iriwa. Then in July, My Doll announced that the group was having a comeback soon and a new member called Sanga had been added into Pink Fantasy. Pink Fantasy then had their comeback with the single album Fantasy on August 5th, 2019. Yubin was not a part of this comeback as 2 months earlier she had been diagnosed with a panic disorder. So the lineup for the Fantasy era was Arang, Yechang, Sanga, Sea, daewang, Aini, Harin, and Hisan. They released a physical copy of the album, and on the CD there were special versions of their songs, those being Iriwa with Sanga and Fantasy with Yubin. Just a few months later, on October 18th, My Doll announced that Hisun was leaving Pink Fantasy and that she would be stopping all her activities that same day. My Doll said that her reason for the departure was because she had been struggling with depression and anxiety. On November 1st, Pink Fantasy released their single Playing House with a lineup of Yechan, daewang, Arang, Sanga, Aini, Harin, and Sea. Then another subunit was formed with members Yechan and Yubin, and their debut was on December 19th, 2019 with the digital single Not Beautiful. After a while of no huge news from the group, My Doll announced on April 12, 2020 that Aini was leaving the group due to health reasons, such as plantar fasciitis, which I'm not sure if I'm saying right, but it causes pain in the foot and other issues. My Doll said that Aini would stay under the label as a model. In June of 2020, the group started posting teasers for a song called Shadow Play, but only 4 members were present in the photos, so people assumed that this would be another subunit. Then, as more teasers came out, My Doll clarified that Shadow Play would technically be a subunit, but it would be promoted under the name Pink Fantasy, stating that the reason was it might be confusing to have so many subunits. The subunit was originally named Pink Fantasy Shadow, and the members of that subunit were Sea, Sanga, Harin, and Arang. Shadow Play was released digitally on July 14th and physically on July 16th of that year. As this was all going on, My Doll announced that Yubin had left Pink Fantasy due to her panic disorder. They said that she would still stay under My Doll as she wanted to become an actress. Yubin was then replaced in Pink Fantasy Shy with Arang. Then in late October, My Doll announced that Sanga had left Pink Fantasy after she had requested her contract to be terminated due to personal issues. At the end of 2020, My Doll announced that they would be featuring guest members in their upcoming comebacks. They said that they were planning to release a digital single and an album in 2021. Those guest members were Mamoka, Miyu, and Miku, all trainees under My Doll. They also announced that Heesun would be one of the guest members. If you don't remember, Heesun used to be a member of Pink Fantasy. Their most recent comeback was Lemon Candy, released on January 21st, 2021, with a lineup of this comeback being Sea, Arang, daewang, Liechan, Harin, and one of the guest members being Heesun. Harin recently did hint at the fact that Pink Fantasy was gonna have a comeback, and the information that we have gotten so far is that it's going to be a mini album with the guest members. You would think that Pink Fantasy's career would be up to date by now, however, there is more. In late October of 2020, My Doll Entertainment announced that they would be starting a new project with a girl group called My Bling. The group would have trainees from My Doll Entertainment, like Pink Fantasy's former member Heesun, but also Arang and Harin from Pink Fantasy. And to my surprise, members Minji, Jian, and Takara from the group Busters. They are still announcing members from what I can tell, and they haven't updated their Twitter in a while, so I'm not sure if they're actually gonna debut, since Pink Fantasy is hinting at a comeback, and Busters is also gonna have a comeback soon. Something a lot of people don't know about this group is that a lot of its members have some kind of idol history or trainee history before Pink Fantasy, and that their CEO was actually an idol as well. So I really wanted to talk about this in this video, even though some people might think it's not interesting, I personally do. So the CEO of My Doll is Lee So-hee, and she made her company in 2018. But before that, she was in a group called Kirots back in 2006, and she was in another group that debuted in 2015 called Eunice. She then worked as a stylist, and her career as an idol sadly didn't go anywhere. When she started her own company, she wanted to have group members of all ages and appearances, and she wanted to put her idol's well-being first. When she started forming Pink Fantasy, she wanted to give idols a second chance. So a lot of the members were idols before, or they were rejected trainees. Aini, a member that did end up leaving Pink Fantasy, was actually in two same groups as Sohee, them being Eunice and Kirots. She didn't want to give up on her dream as an idol, but it was very hard for her, and she would get rejected because of her age. Then, Sohee contacted her and invited her to join. Seiya was in the group Picky Dolls back in 2013, and that didn't go anywhere sadly. Sohee saw her backstage singing at a game show, and she liked her so much she approached her after the show. Ye-chan was in the group Awesome Baby back in 2015, but sadly the group didn't take off and disbanded. Sohee was working under that company for a small time and fell in love with Ye-chan's voice, and she said that listening to Ye-chan sing made her cry. Sohee heard Ye-chan was working at a bookstore after her group disbanded and went looking for her and scouted her. Arang was about to give up her dreams of being an idol after things didn't go too well with her older agency before she was scouted by Sohee. Sangha was actually supposed to be in a more recent group called Fanatics, a group that debuted in 2019, but the company ended up not picking her for the final lineup and basically gave up on her. So she ended up auditioning for My Doll and got in, and she's actually the only member so far to have actually auditioned for the company. Prior to Pink Fantasy, Yupin was trying to become an idol. She was on the show Idol School but got eliminated on episode 6 with a rank of 29. She was also a trainee under Jellyfish Entertainment before joining the company. Ye-chan was a friend of Yupin, and she would talk very highly about her to Sohee, so she wanted to meet her and instantly asked her to join the company. Harin wanted to debut but was having a difficult time doing so because her parent wouldn't allow her. But Sohee talked to her parents and ended up letting Harin debut. As I said in the beginning, it's pretty obvious that just looking at their career, there's a lot of issues with the group. The constant member changes are worrisome to most fans. We can't tell what happened behind the scenes, and we know that the CEO cares about the idol's well-being, but it's still concerning. It's never a good sign. That is something I've talked about way too much on this channel. I believe the company is nice for not forcing the members to stay, but it can be really off-putting to people that want to get into the group. Another thing that is worrisome is all the subunits. Although I enjoy their songs, it makes me wonder why the company just doesn't put the money into a full group comeback and a proper album. Same can be said about about My Bling. Although I like the girls in My Bling, why are they putting time and effort into a group that is made up of idols of groups that are still technically active? The company is small as it is. They don't have a lot of funds to push their group, so why not use the funds to their full potential? The music videos haven't always been the greatest, not in a bad way. It just shows that they have limited funds. It was pretty noticeable in their last comeback, Lemon Candy, and a lot of people commented on the small set and the bad lighting. This also makes me worried for the group that My Doll is trying to debut next. I see what the company's trying to do, but I just think there's a better way of going around it. So, when you look at posts about Pink Fantasy, a lot of people will make comments about daewang and her mask. There's also a lot of information that is going on that is not true or has never been confirmed. So let's talk a little bit about those so people don't spread misinformation in the comments or somewhere else on the internet. First of all, the question that most people ask is, why does daewang wear a mask? When looking online, people will say that she wears the mask because she has anxiety or because she has stage fright, which I actually believed for a while because it made sense. But I and the people I reached out to get this info cannot find any instance of daewang, the members or the company saying anything like that. Daewang has said on a few occasions that she gets nervous while performing on stage and that the mask helps with that, but there's a huge difference in anxiety or stage fright. Maybe she does have some issues, but there's no official information on why she wears the mask, other than it just fits the concept they're going for. Now, people also ask, is she gonna take off the mask? Well, again, there's some information going on that is probably not true. It was reported that when Pink Fantasy either gets their first music show win or when they get #1 on Billboard, daewang will take off her mask. However, in the clip that I could find of this supposed promise, Seo said that daewang would take off her mask once Pink Fantasy would reach #1 on Billboard. But she said it in a joking manner.
저희가 이제 빌보드 차트 1위 정도 한다면 그때쯤은 뭐 한번 벗어볼 수 있지 않을까 싶습니다. 대왕님의 피부 속이 궁금하시다면 빌보드 1위를 한번 같이 가봅시다.
So after viewing that clip, I personally think it was a joke, but multiple news outlets reported that it's real news, so this information got spread around. Daewang has also herself answered the question if she would ever take off her mask, and she plainly just said no. From everything I've seen, she's not being forced at all to wear the mask, and in some cases, she enjoys it because she can do more fun and random things without worrying about her image as a typical idol. Lastly, there's a video on My Doll's YouTube channel where the girls are seen eating, and a girl is sitting with them, and she quickly turns away from the camera and is later blurred in the video. Some people started believing that the blonde woman sitting with him was daewang, but in the description of the video, My Doll stated that it was actually a stylist under the company. I just want to quickly mention this because people believed that was daewang, and whenever Pink Fantasy sits around with any girl that isn't the other members, people start speculating, but it's usually just a stylist or a manager, so yes. I wanted to share some more information about the group and its members for those who were interested. I didn't really know where to add it, so I just made a whole section for it. So let's just start. So the group's fan color is pink. I know, what a shocker. Their fandom name is Rabbit. I'm not sure how to say it in Korean, but in English it's love it, which basically means love it. But the Korean pronunciation kind of sounds like a rabbit. So we love a good pun. Here's a little bit more about the members, both current and former members. This is just info I have from the internet, so I can't guarantee that it's 100% accurate, but let's just start with the current members first. Arang was born in January of 2001. She's the leader of the group, the main dancer, vocalist, rapper, and the youngest member. The members all have their own colors, hers being red. Seo was born in August of 1993. She is a main rapper, lead vocalist, and her color is purple. Ye-chan was born in November of 1995. Her position is main vocalist, and her color is blue. Harin was born in May of 2000. Her position is lead dancer and vocalist, and her color is pink. Daewang also has the title of the Great King. Their birthday is in December of 2189. Her position is a rapper, vocalist, and the face of the group. She is 200 centimeters tall, or 6.5 feet, and she has the talent of teleporting and controlling her group members. Yes, you heard all that right. Heesun, the guest member right now, is a vocalist. She's also the youngest right now, but as she is just a guest member, Arang is technically still the maknae. Her color is yellow. Now for the former members that I think are just as important as the current ones. Aini was born in June of 1991. She was the original leader, lead rapper, vocalist, and visual. Her color was white. She is still under my idol as a model, and she does some amazing work, but sadly she does get over-sexualized because of her modeling. Sanga was born in August of 1999. She was a lead vocalist and lead dancer, and her color was sky blue. Yubin was born in October of 1999. She was a main dancer and lead vocalist, and her color was orange, and she is still under My Doll Entertainment. Some other info: the group has actually a very interesting connection to a very big second-gen idol, Shindong from Super Junior. Shindong, with some of his friends, started a production company called Valhalla Production around 6 years ago. Valhalla Production focuses on low-cost but high-quality music videos. He has worked with videos for Super Junior, NCT, other SM groups, but he has also worked with Samuel's Teenager, Celeb 5, and of course Pink Fantasy's videos like Shadowplay, Fantasy, Iriwa. He was also involved in making the debut song Iriwa for Pink Fantasy. Valhalla Production and Shindong are also often credited in the videos on My Doll's channel. Pink Fantasy was also an SM station song by SUV, which is Shindong and UV, and they're also in the live stage version of the song. Shindong and other Super Junior members like Hito seem to have a lot of support for the group, which is very good for the girls. Now onto the concept. The concept that they're working on right now is a fantasy Alice in Wonderland type of theme. In their subunit Shy, they have a concept of the girls turning into dolls after 12 o'clock with a theme of Cinderella in the music video. In the song Playing House, it's based on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And as I said earlier, they were supposedly having a comeback soon, and Lemon Candy was actually just a pre-release for that comeback according to daewang. And there was supposed to be a B-side but they decided to release it as its own song. So the next comeback and their album is going to be their last part in the Alice in Wonderland concept. But I think that's going to be it for this video. I really hope that I did these girls justice. I love them so much and I want them to do well. If any of you are interested, I'll be linking all their social media and some guides and good videos to watch down below, along with my sources, of course. I want to give huge thanks to the people that helped me with some information. So thank you to Nuku Promoter on Twitter, Love It Informat on Twitter, and at WayNoShana on Twitter for helping with some of the information and helping me clarify some misunderstandings and misinformation that's being spread about the group. I will leave all their Twitter links down below, so please check them out. If the group has piqued your interest, please again support them for their next comeback and check out their socials. But that is gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video.